A quick Sunday night update. I have lambs jumping all over me, as per usual now. I was trying to get them to jump on my back because that's what they did on Friday when I came home. I was wearing a white sweatshirt. I had fed the lambs, was bent down feeding the bottle lamb in that pen, and somebody left nice little hoof prints on the back of my sweatshirt. But things are going well. The bottle lambs are doing well. We are supplementing the single, which originally she was going to be a bottle lamb, and then the mom took her back. But I just don't think that she's getting enough from mom, so she is temporarily a bottle lamb. I will add that it is incredibly rare for a single to also partially be a bottle lamb, but because that mom is so old and her teats are literally a train wreck, we do what we got to do in order for that lamb to develop, grow to her full potential so that she can become a replacement for me, because that mama is going down the road as soon as this lamb is weaned. Now, these triplets were born February 5th, and I did make a video about how I jugged them. I put them in a small enclosed pen with mom and the 3 babies to see if they were growing well. So that was before I left for Albany. Last Sunday was when I jugged them. I had sincerely hoped that by jugging them, they all would get enough to eat. Well, that hasn't helped. It seems that I have an inevitable bottle lamb, so I have a ram lamb that is currently available. If anybody is close to or near the Western New York area, I'm going to be posting him for sale on Craigslist and Facebook later tonight. Basically, when they were born, there were 2 rams and 1 ewe lamb, and the 2 ram lambs, one was really heavy, around 8 or 9 pounds, and the other one was very small, about 5.5 pounds. The ewe lamb was around 8 pounds, so you could see that there was a definite size difference. Unfortunately, what I think happened was that the 2 bigger lambs pushed the little guy out, and because I was already feeding bottle lambs anyway, I tried to offer him a bottle to help supplement and still tried to keep him with his mama. I was hoping that she was still feeding him a little bit, but unfortunately what I found out is that he really is relying on the bottle. Since I'm usually not in the bottle lamb business, I'm going to rehome him. The only reason that I have this black and brown bottle lamb is because the mom passed away, and that white one came from an old ewe who had horrendous teats. So this little guy is the most adorable little lamb. He's tiny compared to his siblings, and he is adorable. But unfortunately, I did talk to my husband this evening about what the fate of this little guy would be if he stays here. And because of the dangerous nature of keeping a bottle lamb, a breeding ram, I'm not going to sell him as a breeding ram. If I castrated him, he's then a wether, a castrated male sheep, and really the only destination is either food or pet. I already have a companion wether to replace the one that passed away last May. That's a story for a different time. But companion wethers serve as companions for breeding rams when they're separated from the flock. So I think my best option at this point is to just sell him. I probably will not castrate him prior to selling, although I will make sure that I express to the buyers that he should be castrated and not kept intact. And for those of you that say, well, I've kept a bottle ram as a breeding ram and he's been fine, I've heard so many stories otherwise. In fact, there was an elderly gentleman that was here at my farm a few years ago buying some cull ewes, like full disclosure, but they were cull ewes. They had gotten mastitis, lost production in half of their udder, and I was selling them to him bred at a discounted price with full disclosure. When he was here looking at my sheep, of course, he didn't really have experience in sheep. He had just acquired a couple and was looking to add a few more. When I was asking and inquiring about his operation, he said that the breeding ram that he currently had was a bottle lamb, and he was going to keep him and raise him up to be a breeding ram. I did my due diligence and said, you may want to rethink that, because they don't respect people as much and they really see you as a peer when you bottle raise them. A year and a half goes by, almost 2 years. I call him because I have another ewe that has had mastitis and has lost production, and he was looking to get ewes at a reduced price. I said, how are the rest of your sheep doing? And that's when he told me that that ram that was his pet became aggressive. And not just once, multiple times, ran down him and his elderly wife and basically pounded them into the ground. This guy was about 80 years old. And I believe it was at that point where he said, yeah, you were right. But anyway, I have a registrable ram lamb available if anybody is in the northeastern United States / in the western region of New York State. We're about an hour south of Buffalo.